At 6:14, not for days or months or years, but for decades, the Missouri Department of Conservation has worked to bring an endangered species back from the brink.
And now it's looking like those efforts are starting to work. I went into West Alton last week to track the prehistoric animal.
They've been around since the time of the dinosaurs.
Surviving continents colliding, asteroid impacts, outliving the dinosaurs, but barely hanging on as humans evolved.
That is a serious indicator that we are doing something wrong.
Overfishing, an industry, killing off a native species.
The dams themselves are a problem for lake sturgeon.
Sarah Peper is a biologist with the Missouri Department of Conservation. Part of her job is tracking the elusive fish.
Lake sturgeon were declared endangered in the state of Missouri in the 1970s. And in the 80s, the Missouri Conservation Department started a reintroduction program.
It takes nearly 20 years for these fish to get big enough to spawn.
And all the biologists in the state, we kind of knew that this was coming, and we're like, oh, where's it going to be where they might choose to spawn? And lo and behold, it happened right here on this bank, right below Mill Price Locks and Dam.
What looks like a bunch of shark-like fish flopping around is a milestone, one that wouldn't be possible without a partnership with the Army Corps of Engineers.
And we try to manipulate the last two gates, so gate 9 and 8, which are on the Missouri side. And so by opening those up more, we can increase the flow along the bank, providing that flow that the sturgeon need for the spawning.
Those same dams that nearly killed them off, now offering a lifeline for the endangered fish.
The Lake Sturgeon Project is funded by the Sustainable River Program, which looks at how human infrastructure can work with nature instead of against it.
That is fascinating.
It really was. And I got there and they were like, okay, let's go out on the boat. I'm like, okay. Like,
yes, sign me up.
I don't think I've, ever been out on the Mississippi River up that high. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah. What was another thing, something else you learned while you were there? I know you're always digging into something.
Well, yeah, with that, I was really impressed that Biologist started that program in the 80s, and then, for one, remembered that they still had it going on to track it recently. So it's been a lot of trial and error for them with those fish, and they're not mature until they're 18 or older. So really kind of lucky that they even had that got that started. So
I love that. Well, good for you for looking into that.
It was pretty fascinating.